job tonight, I want to do one thing, especially for everybody in this room, is teach you how to do a PBR, right? Teach you how to do a presentation. But before I go through the presentation, I want to explain what the people are thinking. And when you understand what people are thinking in the living room, you can communicate more effectively to them, yes or no? Yes. Now, if somebody is invited into a PBR correctly, right, and they walk in the room, what's the first question they ask themselves? Correct. What is it? What is it? What is it? You know, what is it? You invite me over, you're having success, or who's having success? What is it? Would you agree if somebody plays the DVD and does the 1 through 8 and tells their story, it explains what it is, yes or no? Yes. Correct. The second question they ask themselves is this: does it work? Does it work? Now, as you do the 1 through 8, incorporate your story. And I'm going to do a presentation for everybody here this evening, and here's what I suggest: record it. Record it and just duplicate it. That's the great thing about this business, is duplicate. You're allowed to duplicate here. How many of you like that? If I could have done that in college, if I could have copied in college, I could have, you introduced a few people and they got some customers, would you agree it's working for you? So it shows them it works. Now, here's the third question they ask themselves is this: can I do it? And this is where we mess it up. Why? If you overcomplicate it, they're going to feel they can't do it, yes or no? Yep, correct. Now, let me tell you, when I got involved in ACN, if you don't know my background, I was a broke car salesman. I failed out of college. It took me 2 high schools to get out of high school. I went from job to job to job. And when I saw ACN with Patrick, I needed this to work. Anybody in the same position as me? Like, I needed it to work. So I took my college knowledge, what I learned in college, and I said, man, I need to know everything about everything. How many of you were like me? You're like, I can't be in front of the room and not know something. So when we were in the telecom business, I read everything there was to do about telecom. I wanted to be the super expert in telecom. So if there was a magazine article, I read it. If there was a newspaper article, I read it. Or internet, anything at all, I'd get my hands on. And I just wanted to fill my head with knowledge. And here's what I found is I wasn't getting people in the business, because I was talking up here and they were down here. I would finish with my presentation and they'd be like, well, I know what it is. Does it work? But I can't do what you do. I can't duplicate what you do. And it wasn't until I came to a training and a gentleman trained this, and here's what he said. And I want to pose this question to everybody here. What percentage of the population do you feel is highly intelligent or smart?
1%. Yes.
1%.
I'll say
2%. All right, so we got 10. Let's meet in the middle. We got 1 and 10. Let's say 5. 5. All right, we're gonna go with 5. So if 5% of the population is highly intelligent or smart, what does that leave? 95% of the population that is of average intelligence or below. Now imagine this. You know everything there is to know, and you're using words in front of the room that they don't understand. Who are you talking to? 5%. You're talking to the 5%. But you're missing the 95%. It's going right over their head. Because when they get to the third question, go, can I do it? No, I can't do that. The only one you're impressing is you. How many of you went from living room to living room to living room, and no one signed up? Yep. And the common theme in every one of those living rooms was you. Think about this. Now, here's the great thing. Just keep it simple. Now, here's why you want to keep it simple. If you keep it simple, what percentage are you recruiting?
95.
No, you're getting 100. Because you're getting the 95%, right? They're going to do it because they're saying, I can do that. And the 5% are saying, if you're making money, I'm going to get rich. And they're going to do it, yes or no? So by keeping it simple, keep it extremely simple, right? Now, when I do a presentation, how many of you seen me do a presentation? Right? It's very effective because I'm simple. Now, a presentation, not including the video, should be no more than 15 minutes. If you're talking more than 15 minutes, what are you talking about? Now, here's the problem that some of you guys are going to face is you've been to a few national conventions. You've heard some great speakers. Oh, that's a good one. And you took that saying and you put it in your toolbox, right? And you heard another great speaker, and that's a great speaker. And next thing you know, you're in front of the room and you're 45 minutes into a presentation. How many of you know what I mean? Right? Then there's other people that have heard the same things. They're 15 minutes, but they just talk fast. You know what I mean? They're just talking as fast as they can talk to get everything in that 15 minutes. Remember, less is more. Less is more. That's the key to the business. Now, here's why I can become successful, because they said keep it simple, and I was a simple guy. Guys, after that video's played, when you come up, you just want to start by first telling your story. You know, my story is simple. I took a look at this 15 years. Let's say this was a PBR. And I was introduced and said, guys, well, you know, nobody's special here. You know, I've been doing ACN 15 years. I'm a broke car salesman from Altoona, Pennsylvania. And I took a look at this, and guys, when that video finished, here's what I realized. I got a cell phone in my pocket and a TV in my living room. How about you? I like the fact that I could start a business and do it part-time and make as much money as I wanted here. And I also like the fact they showed me how to do it. Now, let me tell you why I'm here, because of the energy business. How many of you are familiar with the deregulation of energy? If you're not, let me explain. I don't care if everybody raise their hand, I can see it. If not, let me explain. The government's deregulating energy. Now, what does that mean? Is they're forcing competition. Here's what they said to the electric and gas companies, that they have to allow competition. Same thing happened in telecom. Everybody remember in the 80s when there was one phone company. Government deregulated them, and here's what entrepreneurs realized. We don't have to teach people how to use the phone. We don't have to find the need. Then Bell already did that. We can go to Bell's customers, offer them the same thing at less, and get paid. And that's how AT&T and Verizon, all these companies started. We're doing the same thing in the energy business. We can not only save people money over their gas bills, electric bills, we can make money. Now tonight, my job is to show you the ACN opportunity. And here's what ACN's looking for. They're looking for business partners. Now, would you agree, before you partner with a company, you want to evaluate the company, yes or no? Yes. Let's evaluate ACN together. You go to box 1 and just read it. Company's been in business since 1993. They're in 24 countries, $800 million in revenue, and they got millions of customers already. Can we all agree they're doing something right? Right, now let's talk about the services. Look at box 2. Here's what we do. We do local and long distance for phone service and internet for homes and businesses. We do wireless through Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint. We do energy for homes and businesses. We do direct TV and dish. We do security and merchant services. Now, let's just look at energy for a second. Let's say you guys got started in ACN tonight, and all you did is you went out and you referred 10 gas customers and 10 electric customers to ACN one time. For doing that, your gas and electricity at home would be free for life. How many of you like that free gas and electricity? Yeah, me too. Now how do they do this? Go to box 3. It's because of their competitive advantage. They're not advertising, telemarketing, or mass mailing. And because they're not spending that money, there's more money left for the consumer. Give the consumer the same quality service at a discount, so can we agree consumers are happy? ACN gets a piece, and then they give you out a piece to all of us. Now, how do you get started? Look at box 4. It's $499. Guys, when I got to that box, I got excited because I had $499. How about you? I knew I was in the right meeting. But here's what I knew, is ACN was going to take care of everything I didn't want to, like the customer. They were going to do customer service. They were going to give me a website to send customers to. They had the partnerships. They had everything. The only thing that I've had to do for the last 15 years is 2 things. I had to find people that wanted to save money and find people that wanted to make money. Now let's talk about those things. Look at box 5. On box 5, it's personal residual income. So any customer you bring to the table, and that customer pays their bill, you'll get a percentage of what that customer spends for the life of the customer. Now guys, when I looked at this 15 years ago, I knew nothing about the phone business. I went to a training. They showed me how to get customers, and here's who I went to, people I knew. I made myself a customer. Here's what I found. Everything was the same, just paid a little less. Then I made my mom a customer, my grandmother, and a couple friends and a couple coworkers. But think about what I did. I talked to them one time 15 years ago. I saved them money over a bill they had to pay anyways. I've never talked to them again about it, but what have they done every month? Pay the bill, and I've gotten a percentage of every dollar they spent month after month, year after year, for doing something once. Now that's the first way we make money. But look at the second way. Everybody look at box 6. Now, you see, I tell them where to look. Look at box 6. This is overriding residual income. This is how we got wealthy, was you get introduced this concept to other people, like what's happening this evening. And if they decide to get in and get customers, you can get a piece of every customer they bring to the table. Now, there's no limit to the amount of people that you can introduce this to, but here's what we did. is we went to a training. We wrote a list of 100 names of people like yourselves. We started calling them up and asking them a simple question. Do you look at other ways of making money? When they said yes, we invited them to our living room. We put 22 people in our living room, one time 14 years ago. We got up in front of the group. We said, guys, thanks for coming. We're excited to be here. We played a DVD. We introduced a speaker, and we sat down. How many of you could do that? No, how many of you could do that? Great. Now, here's what happened. Speaker went through the presentation. End of the meeting, two things happened. There was people that became customers, so we were excited that night, but we had 8 people that became business partners. Now, let me tell you what those 8 people did, is they signed up, and then they went to training, and I sat next to them. How many of you could do that? Like, I didn't have to train them. ACN did. They started introducing reps, and customers started to grow. Fast forward 14 or 15 years later, those 8 people have turned into tens of thousands of people that brought in hundreds of thousands of customers. But here's the great thing. Whether I'm talking to you, swinging a golf club, or laying on the beach, what are those customers doing? Paying their bill. You know, and top of that, let's say the economy's good or bad, what are those customers doing? Paying their bill. Like, here's the great thing. It's not about me or it's not about you. Think about the lady that introduced Patrick and I. How do you think she's doing this evening? Yeah, great. But my point is this. Sitting here tonight, how many of you know somebody that's better in business than you? More influential in the community than you? More go-getter? See, we just went out and introduced them to the concept. They said yes. We put them in front of it, and they went to training, and as they went out and had success, their success became a percentage of our success. Now, there's also upfront money. Everybody look at box 7. First position is called QTT. To hit this position, all you have to do is get 7 customers. Here's the good news. You can be your own customer. Anybody here have electric bill? 1. Gas bill, 2. Simple. If you do this within your first 2 weeks, ACN gives you $100. Now, here's what I like is the $100, yes or no? I could show people it worked. It showed myself it worked. It showed everything was the same. Next position is ETT. You go out and get 25 customers on your team. You start introducing people, they get 25 customers, you're now an ETT. You get a $100 bonus every time someone comes in your business and gets 4 customers. Guys, here's what I like. People were coming in that I didn't know. They were getting 4 customers that I didn't help them get, and I was getting a $100 check. I was getting $100 checks after $100 checks. I was excited about that, but moving up in the marketing plan. ETL, 75 customers. For the same thing happening, you get $200. How many of you agree this is getting a little bit more interesting, right? A little bit more exciting, right? Then you go to team coordinator when 600 customers come in your business, you get $400 when someone signs up in your business, whether you introduce them or somebody else. That's when I walked away from my job. Now, regional director, regional vice president, senior vice president, you get paid for doing more. Now, guys, I've been with the business 14 years, but there's people in this room that have been here a short period of time. And first person I'd like to hear from is Mr. Chris Steinberg. Chris, could you give your testimonial, please?
Sure. My name is Christopher Steinberg. I'm an interior designer. I've been at ACN for going on 9 months now. I have 258 business partners and over 1,600 customers, and I owe it all to the training support of ACN.
Let's give him a hand.
Yeah.
Then I take a minute to interview. I say, Chris, have you ever done anything like this before?
Absolutely not.
No, so you saw it, you saw potential, you got started, you went to a training.
Correct.
You put 15 people in your living room.
Correct.
Who spoke?
You did.
So how many of you could do what Chris did so far? Right? Great. That night, how many got started?
2.
2 people got started. Those 2 people went to training, they duplicated it. Today you have
257 business partners.
that brought in how many customers?
Over 1,600 customers.
Let's give them a hand.
Yeah.
Now that, here's my close. How many of you guys could do tonight what Chris did, what I did, or what the host did? Sign up in a business, go to a Saturday training, and put a group of people in your living room. How many of you can do that?
Yeah.
No, how many of you can do that? If you think you can do that, go to the next page.
Yeah.
And guess what the next page is?
Application.
The application. Now let's fill this out together. And I go through it very slowly. Let's fill your name out, your phone number, and I stare at it. Social security number.
I felt that.
Yeah. You know? And just go through it. And I say, guys, welcome to the team. And I say, for the individuals tonight, and after I go through the whole application, I say, for the individuals who make the decision to get started with us, I'd like to give you a hand. Welcome you to the team. How many of you just clap in a room, it changes the dynamic of the room?
Absolutely.
Right? Now, for the people that aren't interested, try the service. I'm going to say something that the host won't say. They want you to be their customer. Now, we could save you a couple bucks, but you got to get your electric bill to them today. How many of you can get them the electric bill today? We can get you a good price for electricity, you'll feed some kids, and then for the ones that need more information, we have a training. And I take a minute to edify the training. Guys, if people ask me, is the training every week? You know my answer is, it's this week. Is it every week? I don't know, but I know it's this week. And the person we have this week, ... And I spend a minute to edify and close the meeting. Now, how long did that take?
9 minutes, 38 seconds.
How many of you agree was that effective?
Yes.
How many did I not explain everything? How many of you, there was enough there to make a decision?
Yes.
Right? The less you talk, the more they'll do. If you talk a lot, guess what you're doing? You're talking them in and out of the business, or you're talking, they're going, what?
It's over their head.
I can't do that. I can't. And when they answer, I can't do that, what happens? Nothing. They don't do it. Now, guys, this took Patrick and I years to learn. This is not about fancy. Fancy doesn't win here. Simple wins here. Think about McDonald's. Do they make the best burger? No. Would you agree? On the list of burgers, are they here or there? They're here, right? No, but why does McDonald's sell more burgers than anybody on the planet? There you go. The system. See, here's another thing we realized. The system is more important than the product.
Yes.
I know some of you guys are like, I don't know about that. If you have a bad product, you're dead in the water. I disagree. How many of you had a McDonald's hamburger? Right? The system. Now, here's the thing, is it's about duplication. I believe there's some people in this room that you're so good that you can get up and sign people up. But the problem is if you're not duplicatable, you always have to be in the living room. You know, you'll make a living here, but you won't get rich. See, the first 7 years in ACN, Patrick and I made a living. Regional vice, we made a living. Drove nice cars, had nice homes, took care of our parents, made a living. But it wasn't until we got into a system did we get rich. Because the most people that we could put in a business in a month was 100. And that was me and him with single, no kids, working 12-hour days, 7 days a week. You know, we had the time. We did 100 reps. But when we got into the system, within 6 months, we were doing 700 reps in the same month. 1,200 reps in the same month. Now think about the customers that are coming in the door. Our residual at RVP was jumping $4,000 a month. Forget about the bonuses. At RVP, our bonuses were 6 figures a month. That's the upfront bonuses. But the residual was just climbing every month. So the faster at this position you sell out to the system, the faster you're going to go from where you're sitting to the front of this room. And you're going to go from what you're making to getting wealthy. Now, here's what I'd like to do. Is we got about 20 minutes. About doing the presentation, and anything I said tonight, does anybody have any questions? And the only dumb question is the question I'll ask. I did that good?
Yeah.
Nobody has any questions? Keep it simple. And Pat, I don't know if there's anything that you want to add? No? Well, hey, this is great.